Sunrise was not only able to come up with compelling... Okay, I don't know what that was, sorry.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again?
Just gonna back up a little. Welcome back, I'm Karen Horn, and in our continuing Funimation Studio series, we've been giving you inside info on your favorite studios and creators, as well as a little behind the scenes of some of their favorite shows. Now in this video, we're covering the awe-inspiring, nostalgia-inducing works of Sunrise. And we stream lots of those shows, so follow Funimation on social and you won't miss any of it. Let's get started. Sunrise has produced well over 100 shows, including some of the most influential ones in modern anime history. Now it all starts at the origin of anime itself. Now Sunrise was founded by members of Mushi Production, the studio of Osamu Tezuka, who created classics like Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion. Sunrise in turn went on to produce modern classics and long-running franchises like Gundam, Gintama, City Hunter, Cowboy Bebop, and also just plain fun anime series with sizable fan bases. Now most of Sunrise's work consists of incredibly notable original titles, usually credited to Hajime Yatate. Now that's not one person, but rather a collective pseudonym for the studio staff. Let's look at some shows that turned Sunrise into a legendary production studio, starting with Mobile Suit Gundam. The 1979 show is the father of the real robot genre. It's hard to picture how big of an impact the Gundam franchise made on anime. Sunrise worked on several projects before the first Mobile Suit Gundam came out, but it was with this show that the studio found its first huge success. Spearheading the most popular genre of the time, one especially aimed at children, they took a shockingly realistic approach to war, using human antagonists in a time when, alien enemies were the norm. This decision wasn't exactly popular when the first Gundam series premiered. However, the realistic portrayal of children involved in war, with complex characters and plots, would spark dozens of imitators. This series showed that Sunrise was not only able to come up with compelling original content, but also present it with precision animation and striking technical fight scenes. It's a no-brainer that turned the Gundam franchise into a pop culture phenomenon and a worldwide smash hit. Now at this point, is there anything left to be said about Shinichiro Watanabe's Cowboy Bebop? I mean, come on. A team of bounty hunters in spaceships that fight for the greater good to a jazz soundtrack? Okay, that was my description, but still. I love it. I could talk about Bebop forever. Now, though the series was a success in Japan, it truly became a cultural phenomenon in the United States, where it introduced anime to a whole new generation of fans. Now, Watanabe drew heavily from Western pop culture, particularly cinema and neo-noir, to create a series easily accessible by anyone. But it was also deep, packed with imagery and subtlety. These characters felt alive, relatable, and bursting with emotion. And the music? I mean, come on, unmatched. I can literally hear the theme song playing in my head, and I know you're hearing it too. With Cowboy Bebop, Sunrise delivered a show that dove deep into culture and created a multi-genre supergroup of space western aesthetics. It remains a unique visual experience that is a must-watch for, well, anyone. If you haven't seen this, you need to fix that immediately. As mentioned, Sunrise is no stranger to turning original concepts into massive successes, and that tradition continued with the blockbuster franchise Code Geass: Lelouch of the Rebellion. I'll return to the mech genre that made Sunrise a household name. Now, it's set in an alternate timeline where the Holy Britannian Empire took over Japan with the use of mobile suits. Now, a young man receives extraordinary powers and decides to use them to free his people from the rule of the Empire. The show was Sunrise's return to themes that we'd seen in previous Gundam series, not just in its use of mech tropes, but its exploration of morality, politics, and extremism. Viewers encountered a world where characters had moral complexity and deep motivations in a fast-paced action show that still had many twists and turns. Plus, pizza. By the turn of the century, Sunrise had already shown it could deliver huge successes with both original content and adaptations, having opened the floodgates to new anime airing in the West. Now the public was ready for a new show to obsess over. For many 90s kids, Inuyasha was that show. Adapted from Rumiko Takahashi's manga of the same name, the series was isekai before the genre really dominated the market. The teenager Kagome accidentally gets transported from modern day Japan to parallel feudal Japan, where she teams up with the half-demon Inuyasha to gather the pieces of the Shikran jewel before it falls into evil hands. Now, more akin to some of Sunrise's earlier work, Inuyasha is a little light on comedy in favor of a darker, more serious tone that doesn't shy away from displaying some violence, betrayal, and politics. It even gave us one of their earliest unique anime romances. The ships, the fan art, the hair, you can see it all as if it was yesterday. The show was incredibly popular, and fans are looking forward to seeing more from the world of Inuyasha. Which leads us to their most recent series, Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon. Now, Sunrise returned with this new story for fans who were familiar and new to the world. Now, of course, we also have a brand new cast of exciting characters, led by Toa, the Princess Half-Demon herself, and her twin sister Setsuna, who happen to be the daughters of Sesshomaru. Inuyasha's daughter also happens to join them for the ride. There's a missing sibling, lost memories, and plenty of young women kicking all sorts of butt, all wrapped up in an intriguing mystery. Yashahime checks off every dream for new fans and 90s kids. Seriously. Sunrise has given us some of the biggest and most acclaimed anime franchises ever, and they continue to reinvent and expand on what they've worked on. And the future is wide open for Sunrise and even brighter for the fans who get to experience these shows right here on Funimation. So go ahead and sign up if you haven't already. Especially if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, because that's a travesty. Thanks for joining us for another episode of our Funimation Studio feature series. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we love making it for you. To get more great content like this, like, subscribe, and let us know how you dig this new series. Follow Funimation everywhere, and we'll see you next time.